Hi, well, today's video, it's going to be a lot of talking, sorry. Hoping I don't bore you all too much. But I said we were going to talk about the Kawasaki. And, well, I said we were going to work on it. We're not actually going to work on it. But if you notice here, there's a different shock on there. And last time you saw the bike, it had this Suntour OEM style shock. And I'm going to tell you the story behind that, why that's on there now. But the other story I'm going to tell you is I've been watching the Captain's Cog and Berserker Nick's channel, and they've been talking about BMX stuff. And it made me think about my early days with BMX back in the 70s. And I got this one story I just want to tell. And if you get too bored, you could fast forward to the Kawasaki stuff. But back in the early 70s, when I was maybe 12, we first heard about BMX. And it was all West Coast, but we heard about it on the East Coast through magazines and all that. And we found out somehow they were cutting frames up and raising the bottom bracket, and they were raking it a little, what we call giving it slack today, you know. But so I made a bunch of them frames. I cut the bottom brackets, stick welded it back together. I don't know how I got away with stick weld and thin tubing, but did a bunch of them frames. Then when I was about 14, I was working in a deli making $1.55 an hour. And Sears came out this first BMX bike on a showroom floor. Even bike shops didn't have BMX bikes. So I saved up half the money, and I got my parents to pay half the money. And I got that bike. It was a Avenger 350. Thing had an all aluminum girder front end. It had straight tube frame rails, but it was still the same geometry as every bike, 20-inch bike that ever been built. But it had knobbies, it had cool hubs. It was a really cool bike. I get the thing home. Within a couple days, my parents both went out somewhere. And I cut that thing apart. I raised the bottom bracket. I put some slack in the front end, welded that thing all back together. I had some paint. I got an auto parts store, painted it. By the time they got home, the paint was still tacky. I had the bike all back together. I was just hoping they wouldn't look at it. And I guess they didn't. They didn't say nothing. I don't know. And they're probably watching this now, and I'm going to get a phone call. But anyway, that bike worked. Somehow I stumbled on some good geometry. It was totally by accident. We had a downhill BMX track behind the elementary school. And that bike worked good. I mean, that was my first and last real BMX bike, because I got into cars and motorcycles after that and all. But I just wanted to tell that story. I've been watching videos that make me think about that stuff. So now on to the Kawasaki. Kmart Kawasaki. So I had this shock on there a couple episodes ago. You remember it was on the tires before I aligned the wheels up. Had never put air in this shock. I go and put air in it, and the air leaks out in about 10 minutes. Do it a couple times, hope maybe the seal's just a little dry or something, but no, didn't work. So I emailed the guy that I bought it from. It was an eBay store. And I just emailed him. I said, is there any kind of warranty on this shock? You know, not figuring there's going to be, but just hoping I could get seals or something for it. So it was a Saturday night. Monday morning, I get an email. I don't have any more of those shocks. I'm going to send you a Fox replacement. I'm like, wow. You know, like, well, that's amazing customer service. So I emailed him back, and I said, do you mind if I mention your name on the video? And he was good with it, so I'm going to mention his name. It was Crimson Stallion Cycle Supply on eBay, and Tracy's going to put the link to the eBay store in the description, and she's going to put the address to their Instagram, so that Instagram. I don't do none of that stuff. Sorry. I'm old school mechanic, that's all. So, yeah, I mean, you know, once you find somebody that's a good person to deal with, if they got anything you need, I have a bad habit of not looking at the feedback ratings in eBay. And I went back and looked at theirs. Over 14,000 sales with 100% positive. So I just like the geometry, right? I stumbled onto a good seller. So, you know, I think you should support them. Anytime we have a good person to buy from, you know you're going to get good customer service. So, back to Kawasaki anyway. I got to put the tires back on the wheels, straighten the derailleur, and put the brakes on. And I'm probably not going to show none of that because it's just going to be boring. I'm going to put it all together. But what we're going to do next is a bunch of parts came in for the Cannondale. I'm waiting for the fork bearings and I'm waiting for the fork. But I have my JG bike crank. I'm going to do the one-by drive. And I have the disc brakes, so I can do all that. So we're going to work on a Cannondale. That's going to be the next video. So I hope you enjoyed my story and didn't fall asleep. And support good sellers when you can. Make sure they stay in business and make money. All right. Talk to you next time.